Hey guys, it's March the 16th, 2020. Are you used to us yet?
Yes.
Savannah in for Jenna. Jenna's spending a couple of days with her kids. They're off from school like so many kids across the country. So Savannah and I have been doing the early hours, part of the 9, and now the 10 together because...
They can't keep us apart, except for they can. Because we're socially distancing.
Yeah, we're going to start. We hope that you guys are doing this at home, too, because it really does matter how close you are to somebody. In fact, we're going to have Dr. Torres on, and I was thinking, it was funny last night, when I was putting Haley to bed and Hope to bed and Joel was home, and you know when you lean, because you've kissed your kids and your husband a million times, your boyfriend, and they've gone out sometimes. Some husbands are going to work. I even wonder what that means within a home, and maybe Dr. Torres can help us
because should ask.
I think that's important.
Let me tell you where we're not socially distancing. Me and my kids. They're like slobbering all over me, par usual, and I don't really want that to change. I guess I always assume like if you're at home and you're already like all of our germs are intermingled, but maybe that's not the answer. Although I have to say, like yesterday, you and I were talking on the phone. And at first, I was like, well, we could just sit together like we always do. Because, you know, we're like, I feel like your family. Like, it's the same thing as my kids. I'm like, you can slobber all over me if you want. But I think, well, maybe not that. But I think what we're trying to do is just say, like, okay, we get it. And this is serious. You know, we don't have to freak everyone out, but let's just be responsible.
You've got to be. And I think a lot of kids are home from school today. I know your kids are home. My daughter's school, the New York City schools, just got canceled late yesterday. So a lot of people are scrambling to get childcare and do stuff like that. But some of the schools have figured out how to do school from home already, which I was blown away with how quickly they got with that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, my school, they've actually for the last couple of weeks been saying, if it comes to that, we do have a plan for distance learning. It's actually Vail's spring break right now, just as it happens. But last week they got canceled early. They already had, and it's the cutest thing, they had a kindergarten Zoom class, like virtual. I don't know if we have a little tape of it. We recorded.
Yeah, let's see. I think we probably do.
Okay, ready? I'm going to unmute everyone. I want everyone to wave and say good morning to everybody. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
Oh yeah, they all started waving at each other. It was just hilarious. It was simultaneously adorable and kind of heartbreaking. But the kids could all see each other, and they waved at each other. And you know, I think that's what we're gonna have to do for a couple months.
There are some people taking it really seriously. I mean, we hear some of our colleagues were talking about how we're doing this, and then sometimes you're sitting at home and you're watching TV and you're like, wait a minute, are they out on Bourbon Street? Wait, are there young kids out enjoying themselves? And I think I don't know whether it's they feel invincible or it's not going to hit them, so they're going to be fine because 80% of the people are going to be okay, or what the story is. But it was freaking me out. I was like, you guys got to get this together.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those things. Like, it's really important to try to keep it in perspective. We don't need to panic. I was actually trying to reflect on that this morning. I was saying my prayers on my way to work, and I was thinking about how lucky we are to live in this time. To live in this country. We have tremendous resources on all levels, and we can bring that to bear. And this isn't going to be the end of us, but it is a time for us to act selflessly. And actually, my pastor at church said it in a really nice way. And he was saying, we have a lot of young people in our church about staying home and socially distancing and doing those things. He said, this is an act of love. You are doing an act of love. And I thought that was a really good perspective on it. Don't think of it as a sacrifice and what you're giving up. Think of what you're doing for your fellow human being.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, that's beautiful. And I think a lot of people, speaking of church services, some people are missing out on their Sunday service, but did your church do something where
ours did a virtual service, which was beautiful. And then I saw, that was a little bit, it was lovely. They taped it, they did communion, the whole thing. And then I saw Al put on Instagram that he and Deborah watched their church. They were sitting on the couch and the church was on the TV.
I think this is a time where people need that the most. And it's one of those things that the more churches that can do that, like, the better.
Yeah, or however not everybody, that's not their thing. There's lots of different ways to find comfort. But I keep thinking to myself, okay, we have like physical distance, but we don't have to have emotional distance. And if anything, maybe we can draw closer to one another in different ways, whether it's a call call or having this time of reflection.
I'm kind of feeling that already.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. I was thinking about that, even just the fact that Joel and the kids are all, and we're all home. Like, that never happens.
Yeah.
Joel goes to work. Well, now Joel works from home. And, you know, I'm going to work and then I'm coming back. But when I'm picturing how this is working out, like, Haley can't believe we're all here all the time.
I know, everybody's
she's
there.
Like, right. And she's,
what a beautiful opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike and I were talking about it because we just had our anniversary over the weekend, 6 years, and we were talking to each other about, these last 6 years, and we said to each other, we have the same feeling, which is like, we're family now. This is our family. And he said, I feel that way even more in these last few weeks, like the need to want to like gather my family and protect.
And I think what that underscores, because we feel really blessed and lucky to have that, is there are people right now who are watching us. We're sitting at home, and they maybe can't have anyone come visit them. They may be in a high-risk group. And some people may not have a family who lives nearby, and they can't be with them. And the question is like, how do you make kind of peace in your home with that? And I mean, I'm hoping that we can help you. Like, we'll be here with you. We're not leaving you. And I feel like sometimes you need to know that you're not by yourself.
Yeah, even if it's true. It's like, I hope we're keeping you company. You're keeping us company. You're giving us purpose. I think that is such an important thing for all of us humans. You know, we want to feel like we have meaning and purpose. And I know that we really take it seriously and feel like it's a privilege to do this job. And I hope, you know, give people good information and, but also just, we're all in this together. Let's just process it together. And there's going to be good days and bad days and scary days and unexpected
we keep
joys.
Saying Italy's so far ahead of us in terms of all the bad news. But if you also look at Italy right now, when they are probably at their worst, when they are on their knees, this entire country is like rising up.
I mean, giving me chills.
We were watching they were singing, I think, the Italian national anthem from their balconies. I mean, like, and they're doing workouts.
Oh, this is Spain. This is so
Spain.
cute. Here's a guy who's a fitness instructor, was like getting everybody to work out.
Yeah.
You have these beautiful opera singers out on the Italian balconies singing.
I mean, you could just literally get mesmerized by this, and this is in Naples, and I mean, if you just listen and watch what people are doing when they are all by themselves and they realize they're part of a community. And even in Iran, they had like all these surgeons and doctors who were all dressed from head to toe in the protective gear, dancing, like, just there has to be a point where
that's the human spirit right there. By the way, big shout out to our healthcare workers.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's what's so, I think, strange about this moment in time too, is that we're trying so hard to be ready and follow the best advice, but at the same time, you know, we feel okay. It's sort of like waiting for this thing to descend, and then you know, so there's a certain unreality to it, but we're trying to stop the worst from happening. And all we can do is just try to take the advice, the best advice we're given, and believe it.
And I think what you were talking about to a lot of healthcare workers, and some of them are single moms, and if you've ever been in a hospital for any reason and you've talked to the nurses, you understand where they're coming from, and then you find out that schools are closed, and we need them. It's like you want to figure out, for all those people who don't have work right now, and there are a lot of kids who need cared for, like you were talking about, like, how can we make a puzzle piece fit?
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, the tricky part is that we're supposed to be apart, but, you know, as time goes on, I mean, there's got to be a way to, like, pick up where, okay, so you lost your restaurant job. Is there a babysitting job you can pick up? But, you know, while trying to be responsible. Oh, by the way, did you see, going back to Italy for a minute?
Tell me.
It's going to give you chills. There's 9 jets from the Italian Air Force. And they, watch this. The Italian flag. Just to lift spirits.
Oh my God.
I know. It's beautiful.
Sometimes you got to take a second. Man.
We're going to get through this.
Yeah,
yes,
we certainly are. All right. The major headline, though, of the morning, and this is a big one. The CDC is calling for the cancellation of all events that involve more than 50 people for the next 8 weeks. We had an expert on who said this morning 50 people is way too many. Yeah. And Dr. Anthony Fauci, by the way, who's the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, he talked about just how important these measures are. He spoke to Chuck Todd on Meet the Press. Take a look.
I think Americans should be prepared that they're going to have to hunker down significantly more than we as a country are doing. If you let the curve get up there, then the entire society is going to be hit.
He's been saying that consistently over and over and over. And I think that
and I mean, I think more and more of us we've learned about this. I mean, none of us were like pandemic experts before, and aren't now. But I think what makes sense to me is at this point, the virus is here. All the experts say that. And it's not about stopping it or saying it can't come here. What it's about is slowing it down so that it doesn't happen all at once. You know, if everyone gets sick all at once, now you've stressed the hospitals, the hospital beds, the hospital workers, you've stressed the ventilators, the equipment, all of that. It's too much at once. If you do these things that they're advising us to do, which is to keep our distance and just bring it down, flatten the curve, slow down that rate, then the hope is that we we keep it to a level low enough where our hospital system and our system can handle it. That's the effort we're all collectively in right now.
And I think one of the basic things you can do at home, if you're sitting at home with your kids, and if you live in an area that's got some open space, some fresh air, get in it. Like, as long as it's not crowded with people, go. I mean, I took the girls to a playground. There was nobody there. It was just us. And the fresh air, the running, the outside is important for all these kids and for grown-ups too. So, you know, as long as you're not around people, it's starting to warm up a little. Get outside.
Get outside and get a little sunshine.
And by the way, we were talking about how some people are concerned young people aren't listening to the warnings of, you know, social distancing. And I was thinking earlier, like, wow, I wonder why these celebrities don't get out and say, like, LeBron or somebody, like, yes, guys, look, do what I'm doing. Well, it turns out there are celebrities, Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift, they both posted messages. And they said that people should stay home. Ariana, she said this is what she wrote. This is incredibly dangerous and selfish to take the situation lightly. That mindset is putting people who aren't young and or healthy at risk.
Yeah, and Taylor said, I'm seeing lots of get-togethers and hangs and parties still happening. This is the time to cancel plans. Actually, truly isolate as much as you can. And don't assume that because you don't feel sick that you aren't possibly passing something on. I'm glad you said it. I mean, these are like, okay, maybe they don't listen to us old bats, but, you know, listening to people that have that huge reach and they're using their platforms for good, and that's good for all of us.
Jenna's spending a couple of days with her kiddos, enjoying this time. Tom Hanks is back in the news.
Yes, he is. It's actually kind of sweet. He and Rita have been really kind of keeping people up to date on what's going on. Obviously, you probably heard they got coronavirus. They happen to be in Australia where he's got a movie going on. So he posted another Instagram message. This time he's quoting Mr. Rogers. He says, thanks to the helpers, let's take care of ourselves and each other. That is a Vegemite sandwich, one of Australia's most delicious delicacies. Well, Vegemite's not for everyone.
Have you tasted it?
Yeah, well, my mom would, you know, I was born in Australia.
That's your home.
And we lived there for a couple of years, so my mom would say that was like my first food. Yes, but now I've tasted it, it's not necessarily
it's not my
thing.
Okay.
And then Rita Wilson, who is also being isolated with coronavirus, she put out a call out on social media for songs to listen to, and then she came up with a playlist, she called it Quarantunes, which I gotta love. I mean, Dancing with Myself is on there.
I love that.
Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. All by Myself by Eric Carmen, which is I See So Far Away by Carole King on there. So Far Away, Amazing Grace, always good. So that's good. I mean, I love that people having a sense of humor.
I think you have to, because that's the other thing. Because I was getting kind of, you know, sometimes you go through these things, like I was writing lists of things that we shouldn't do at our house. I was like, we have to wash the towels. And so as I was writing the list for the kids and everybody, I wrote, we have to wash towels. And I was like, must have funky dance party. And then on number 3, like every other one, I was like, remember, like, in addition to all this stuff, you gotta have some laughs. There were some folks who are making us laugh right now in Melbourne, Australia. There was a couple that was supposed to go on a cruise, and they had it all booked. It was their 53rd wedding anniversary, all done. They had to cancel. So you know what they did? They recreated the whole thing in their house. So here it is. Check it out. They're looking at the television. Look at them. Cheers. They're enjoying
Look at their view.
Look at that. They've just, I don't know where they got that on their TV, but it's perfect.
They don't even need a cruise, because like if you have that attitude and you're that funny and cute, you're good wherever you are.
There was this other guy from Denver who wanted to do some kind of curling. So there's no sports on TV. He was like, you know what? Watch me. I'm going to curl with my Swiffer and Roomba. Yes. It says not all sports are canceled.
Oh my God,
Okay.
that is hilarious. Okay, a user on Twitter created a viral thread comparing Chris Evans' pictures to different bottles of hand sanitizer. Okay, let me see if I can follow. Do you get it? Oh, like, okay, so that matches his shirt. Give us another one. Okay, yeah. I like that one. It smells good. Okay, so
Myers clean day.
You know what? People are home. They're bored. They're bored.
By the way,
and
we're going to have some of the best memes, the best everything's going to come.
We are scouring the internet right now.